all know the names: Messerschmitt, Heinkel, Dornier, Junkers, Focke-Wulf, the famous aircraft companies that equipped Hermann Göring's Luftwaffe during World War II. But you don't hear too much about them today. What happened to Germany's famous World War II aircraft companies after the war, and do they still exist in 2024? The answer to the latter question is a fascinating yes, sort of, though in a form I guarantee you have never considered linked with World War II. Messerschmitt was one of the newer German aviation companies, founded by Willy Messerschmitt in 1938. It was, of course, responsible for a host of famous World War II aircraft designs, notably the Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighter series and some of the early jet fighters like the Messerschmitt 262. Like all German aviation companies, following the surrender and dismemberment of Nazi Germany in May 1945, Messerschmitt was banned from making planes for 10 years until 1955. In order to keep going, Messerschmitt instead built famous bubble cars for use on the West German domestic market, and also built prefabricated houses to help solve the housing shortage caused by heavy Allied bombing of Germany during World War II. In June 1968, Messerschmitt merged with a small engineering and civil aviation firm called Bvogl, becoming Messerschmitt Bvogl. It was then acquired by Hamburger Flugzeugbauer, becoming MBB, Messerschmitt Bvogl Blom, producing, amongst other things, helicopters. In 1989, MBB was taken over by DASA, or Deutsche Aerospace, and that company now belongs to a huge conglomeration that is incredibly famous, and which I will reveal at the end. Heinkel was an older company founded by Ernst Heinkel in 1922. It produced a range of famous World War II planes, notably the Heinkel 111 bomber series, and of course the Heinkel 162 People's Fighter jet. Post-war, Heinkel manufactured bicycles, motor scooters, and a minicar of its own. Returning to aviation in the mid-1950s, Heinkel license-built the American F-104 Starfighter for the new West German Luftwaffe. In 1965, Heinkel ceased to exist when it was absorbed into VFW. VFW was later acquired by MBB, which in due course merged into a huge aviation group that we will talk about at the end of this video. Dornier was even older than Heinkel, founded in 1914 by Claude Dornier, and was of course responsible for some very famous World War II bombers, notably the Dornier 17 Flying Pencil, and also a series of flying boats. Post-war, Dornier moved to Spain and then to Switzerland, but in 1954 returned to West Germany and built two successful short takeoff and landing aircraft, the Dornier 27 and 28 utility planes. In 1974, it worked with the French company Dassault Breguet to create the Alpha Jet. In 1996, Dornier was acquired by Fairchild Aircraft. However, part of Dornier was spun off to continue as a separate family-owned firm, making textile machines, while another part moved into defense, satellites, medical technology, and so on. The aviation arm produced some notable aircraft, including the Dornier 328. In 2002, Fairchild Dornier became insolvent, and production of the 328 jet was acquired by the US company Avcraft. Dornier 228 production was taken over by the Swiss company RUAG, and in 2020 it was sold to General Atomics. The other Dornier subsidiaries all merged into EADS, which itself would merge into a giant mega-corporation that we will see at the end. However, the Dornier aircraft name still exists due to two family-owned spin-off companies. Firstly, Dornier Seaplane Company that builds seaplanes, particularly the Sea Star, and from 1996, another company called Dornier Technologie, which has built the Dornier S-Ray 007 seaplane. Junkers, responsible in World War II for iconic types such as the Ju-87 Stuka, and the Ju-88 medium bomber series had been founded by Hugo Junkers way back in 1895. Post-war, Junkers merged in 1969 into MBB, thence becoming part of EADS. Focke-Wulf, founded in 1923 by Professor Heinrich Fokker, Georg Wulf and Dr. Werner Naumann, in World War II produced, among many aircraft types, the iconic Focke-Wulf FW-190 fighter series. Overcoming the post-war ban on making aircraft in 1951, Focke-Wulf started building civilian gliders, moving to motorized aircraft in 1955. In 1961, Focke-Wulf worked closely with Weserflug and Hamburger Flugzeugbauer to develop rockets. In 1967, Focke-Wulf disappeared as a distinct company, merging with Weserflug to become VFW. And following more mergers, became a part of, you've guessed it, EADS. So here's the surprising part of the story. We have seen how Messerschmitt, Heinkel, Dornier, Junkers, and Focke-Wulf all ended up being merged into one of two large companies, EADS or DASA. Those companies now have a different name, as they have indeed merged into one themselves. That company is now called Airbus, founded in 2000 by the merger of EADS, DASA, the French aerospace company Aerospatiale Matra, the Spanish firm CASA, and Daimler Chrysler Aerospace. So the next time you fly commercial, there is a very good chance that you will be on an Airbus, as Airbus is the most successful aviation company on Earth. A very large part of the aviation lineage of the aircraft you are seated on comes from those famous German World War II aviation companies that equipped Göring's Luftwaffe. Those World War II bombers and fighters are the great-grandfathers of the Airbus A320 and its sister designs that we use so much today. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon, details in the description box below.